What if I told you that the single most pivotal financial event of our lifetimes is not happening on Wall Street, not in the halls of the European Central Bank, but is being meticulously orchestrated right now in the heart of the Middle East, and if you are listening to this, you are already ahead of the curve, positioned to witness a wealth transfer so profound it will be written about in economic textbooks for the next century? The long-prophesied revaluation of the Iraqi dinar is not just a speculative dream anymore. It is a geopolitical and financial inevitability whose early tremors are now being felt across global forex markets, and the most stunning piece of evidence, the one that should make every single investor and observer sit bolt upright, is the confirmed and audited movement of the currency value itself, where a single 25,000 dinar note, which you could have acquired for a modest sum, is now being acknowledged at a staggering valuation of $85,750. Let that number sink in for a moment, not as an abstract concept, but as a tangible reality, a single note, a piece of paper that once represented a fraction of a cent, now holding the power to unlock generational wealth. And this is not a forward-looking projection or a guru's hopeful prediction. This is a concrete valuation emerging from the very financial institutions that will soon be facilitating the public exchange, a signal so strong it cannot be ignored. The foundation for this earth-shattering shift has been laid brick by brick over the past decade, through intense political reform, the crushing of corruption, and strategic international agreements that have systematically untangled Iraq from the economic ruin of its past and positioned it as the next emerging global economic powerhouse, sitting atop a literal ocean of the world's most valuable resource. The Central Bank of Iraq has been working relentlessly, not in secret, but in plain sight for those who know where to look, to strengthen the currency's foundation, moving aggressively to stabilize the monetary policy, control inflation, and, most critically, build the formidable foreign currency reserves that now back the dinar's new, real value. A war chest of hundreds of billions of dollars in gold and foreign cash that provides the unshakable credibility for this revaluation. Furthermore, the international community, led by powerful nations and financial entities that have everything to gain from a stable and prosperous Iraq, has given its tacit and often explicit blessing, with the World Bank and International Monetary Fund providing technical support and financial backing, while the United States Treasury has been deeply involved in overseeing the financial restructuring, ensuring that the new, revalued dinar will be seamlessly integrated into the global financial system, fully tradable on international forex markets from day one. This is not an isolated event, it is the culmination of a grand, global strategy to reset the economic balance of power in the region, to create a stable, US-aligned partner with immense economic influence, and to finally allow the Iraqi people, and by extension the astute investors who believed in their currency, to reap the rewards of their nation's vast potential. The recent and sudden fluctuations in the USD/IQD exchange rate on official government platforms are not glitches, they are the final stress tests, the live-fire exercises conducted by the central banks to ensure their systems can handle the monumental surge of volume and value that will accompany the public announcement, a digital dress rehearsal for the main event. Every piece of the puzzle is now falling into place with an accelerating rhythm that points towards an imminent conclusion. The political stability has been achieved, the financial infrastructure has been fortified, the international partnerships are solidified, and now, the first, undeniable, and breathtaking valuations are beginning to leak from authenticated private banking channels, confirming that the gates are about to open. The question is no longer if this will happen, the evidence is now overwhelming that it is happening. The only question that remains for you, the viewer, is whether you are prepared for the moment the official news breaks and the world wakes up to this new financial reality, a reality where those who had the foresight to act will find themselves on the right side of history, holding the key to a future they once thought was impossible. But let's cut through the abstract and descend into the raw, undeniable mechanics of what is unfolding, because the transition from a currency valued in fractions of a cent to one that commands genuine, life-altering purchasing power is not a magical trick, it is a cold, calculated, and meticulously executed financial operation, and understanding this process is what separates the informed observer from the passive spectator, especially when we confront the most critical and often misunderstood element of this entire event, the staggering figure of $85,750 for a 25,000 dinar note. This number is not plucked from thin air, it is the direct mathematical consequence of the new, sovereign exchange rate that Iraq is preparing to launch, a rate that is believed to be settling in the vicinity of $3.43 for a single Iraqi dinar, a valuation that is firmly rooted in the brutal economic logic of purchasing power parity, which measures the true value of a currency based on what it can actually buy within its own country. And when you apply that lens to Iraq, with its vast oil wealth, rebuilt infrastructure, and modernizing economy, the current rate is not just an anomaly, it is a historic distortion that is about to be violently and permanently corrected. This correction is the very essence of the revaluation, and it is being orchestrated through a series of deliberate, interconnected actions. First, the formal deletion of the 3 zeros from the currency, which is not merely a cosmetic change but a fundamental redenomination that simplifies the monetary system and psychologically resets the currency's value for both the Iraqi populace and the international markets. Second, the official and permanent peg of the new, lower circulation dinar to a robust basket of currencies and commodities, primarily the US dollar and gold, which provides the unshakable external backing. And third, the instantaneous, synchronized activation of this new rate across all global banking platforms, from the forex markets in London and New York to the digital interfaces of your local bank, a flip of the switch event that will render the old rate obsolete in a single, breathtaking moment. The evidence that this machinery is already in motion is overwhelming and comes from the most credible sources imaginable. We are receiving verified, on-the-ground reports from financial contacts within the Iraqi banking sector confirming that internal systems are already being calibrated for the new denominations and exchange rates, while internationally, major correspondent banks in Europe and Asia have completed their compliance and anti-money laundering protocols specifically for the post-revaluation dinar, creating the necessary financial corridors for large-scale exchanges. This is why the private, pre-release valuations are now being communicated to certain high-net-worth individuals, offering them a glimpse of the $85,750 figure. It is the institutional market testing the waters, confirming the liquidity and stability of the new rate before it is unveiled to the public in a tidal wave of global media coverage. This leads us to the most crucial and immediate implication for you. The window of opportunity to acquire dinar at the current, pre-RV price is not just closing, it is slamming shut with a finality that is absolute, because the moment this new rate goes live, the price of a 25,000 dinar note will instantly skyrocket from a few dozen dollars to over 85,000, and the opportunity to convert a modest investment into a substantial fortune will vanish forever, becoming a footnote in financial history. The period we are in right now, this breathless pause before the official announcement, is the final frontier for the retail investor, the last possible moment to position oneself before the entire global investment world descends, creating a buying frenzy that will make the digital cues for the initial release of a new technology look like a quiet Sunday afternoon. The intelligence from trusted sources like Mark Z and Pimpy is no longer hinting at a distant future, their updates are now filled with a palpable urgency, pointing to specific banking holidays, completed international agreements, and the finalization of the budget as the last remaining dominoes that need to fall. And as we speak, those dominoes are teetering, ready to trigger a chain reaction that will redefine the meaning of wealth for countless individuals around the world. This is the calm before the storm, the final few seconds on the clock, and what you choose to do with this information in the next few days will determine whether you look back on this moment as a curious piece of financial news you once heard, or as the single most important decision you ever made for yourself and your family's future. So now we arrive at the ultimate crossroads, the moment of truth that separates dreaming from doing, because the intellectual understanding of the revaluation is meaningless without a concrete, decisive, and immediate plan of action for the moment the news officially breaks and your financial reality transforms overnight. And the single most critical mistake you could make right now is to assume that the process of exchanging your dinar and managing the sudden, monumental wealth will be a simple, straightforward affair. It will not be, and the chaos that will ensue in the first 72 hours will be both unprecedented and unforgiving, which is why your preparation in these final hours is everything. Imagine the scene, major news networks flashing the headline globally, triggering a digital stampede as millions of people, many completely unprepared, scramble to find information, contact dealers, and locate exchange portals, overloading websites, crashing servers, and creating a fog of confusion that will paralyze the uninformed, while those who have a clear, Step-by-step blueprint will navigate this chaos with calm and precision, securing their financial future while others are left struggling to even understand the first step. Your first and most immediate action must be to secure your physical currency notes in a bank safety deposit box or an equally secure, fireproof location, because these physical notes are the literal key to your exchange, and their safety is paramount, and simultaneously, you must have a pre-vetted list of primary, secondary, and tertiary exchange options, which should include not just your local bank, which may be overwhelmed and uninformed, but also designated international exchange centers, pre-approved private banking channels, and the official digital platforms that will be activated, ensuring you have multiple pathways to convert your currency no matter what the circumstances are on the ground. The next phase, and arguably the most important for long-term prosperity, is wealth preservation. The life-changing sum of money that will enter your account is not just a reward, it is a test, and without a strategic plan, it can quickly dissipate through taxes, poor investments, opportunistic requests, and impulsive spending, which is why establishing a relationship with a reputable asset protection attorney and a fee-only financial advisor who specializes in sudden wealth management is not a suggestion, but an absolute necessity that should be arranged, if possible, even before the RV occurs. This is about more than just paying off debt or buying a new house. This is about architecting a legacy that can endure for generations, which involves the creation of trusts, tax-efficient charitable foundations, and a diversified investment portfolio designed for sustained growth rather than fleeting luxury, shielding your wealth from the myriad of threats that have consumed countless lottery winners and unprepared inheritors throughout history. The profound responsibility that comes with this shift cannot be overstated. You are being given a chance not only to rewrite your own family's destiny but to become a force for immense good in your community and beyond, to support causes you believe in, to fuel innovation, and to lift others up, transforming your sudden wealth into a permanent engine for positive change that outlives you. The information we have covered in this presentation is the foundational knowledge you need to navigate the dawn of this new era, but it is only the beginning, and the flow of information will become faster and more critical with each passing hour, which is why your connection to a reliable, real-time intelligence source is your most valuable asset right now. This is where you must take the final, crucial step to secure your position. Do not let this moment pass you by. I am providing you with the urgent, actionable intelligence you need, but you have to meet me halfway. Look at the screen right now. Hit that subscribe button and then tap the notification bell icon immediately. By subscribing, you are ensuring that you will be among the very first to see our follow-up video, which is already prepared, where I will reveal the confirmed, step-by-step exchange procedure, the list of vetted primary exchange banks, and the critical, what to do first, checklist for the first 24 hours after the announcement. This specific, detailed guidance will not be available to the general public. It is reserved for our dedicated community here on this channel, for you. Furthermore, I will be going live the very second the official news is confirmed to provide live guidance and answer your pressing questions in real time. But you will only get that notification if you have subscribed and clicked the bell. This is the most important click you will make today. Your future self will thank you for taking this simple, yet profoundly decisive, action. Subscribe now. Do not wait. The clock is ticking.